Did you know that umpires and line judges at major tennis tournaments and Grand Slams basically have to know every single swear word in every language? This sounds like a big undertaking, and you'd be right because it probably is. But why is this the case, and why am I telling you today? Well, I guess you'll find out. Hello! Welcome to Brainspill, the laziest show on the internet. My name is Tank, and why? At all major tennis competitions, line judges and umpires learn every curse word in every language. So basically, at every Grand Slam tournament, it's likely due to the fact that so many of the players are expected to be sportsmanlike. Unlike those other brutish sports, no, this is tennis we're talking about, people. Yeah, that sport. It's a little known rule and not many people teach it you, but every time that you get your racket and hit the ball, it is customary to stick your pinky finger out whilst playing, and then everybody that's watching gives you the round golf clap. It is commonly bounded around that this is just a Wimbledon rule, but that's technically not the case, as the rule applies across the board for all professional tennis games. While you would be correct in thinking that the reason they learn to swear in every language is to ensure players from all backgrounds can be judged on the same level. There's a lot of cultures and languages used, particularly those who would speak in their native tongue in front of a televised audience around the world. It would be a shame if a swear word was able to be spelt out, and it might offend an entire group of people without the line judges or umpires even knowing it. So, as you might imagine, and mainly due to the fact that we're making this video, you probably have realised that they take this rule quite seriously. So much in fact that there has been more than a handful of times that people have been caught short, even just saying the smallest things. This might seem like a very strange rule on the surface, but for anyone that has watched tennis, you know for a fact that tennis players swear like sailors. I'm pretty sure if they didn't get caught, those tennis players would be effing and jeffing up and down the court all day long, so they need something to try and curb this behaviour. And yeah, like I said, this has happened many times before, hence the reason why the rule is in place, with many players getting fines or even straight up banned from competitions for saying and doing things. So, what is the rule exactly and how does it work in practice? It's a little bit more complicated than simply saying, "Thou shalt not drop the F-bomb." There's more to it, guys. Come on, this is tennis we're talking about here. Players shall not use audible obscenity within the precinct of the tournament site. A violation of this section shall subject a player to a fine up to $20,000 for each violation. In addition, if such violation occurs during a match, including the warm-up, the player shall be penalised in accordance with the point penalty schedule hereinafter set forth. So yeah, that's why the rules are in place. And I'm not gonna lie, I imagine that some of these players are pretty well paid, and even though that's the case, just to slip out a swear word and then have to pay $20,000, it's a steep thing to do, so that's why they take this rule so seriously. The point penalty system they refer to means that the first offence is a warning, the second is a point penalty in the game they're playing, and the third and every subsequent offence after that is a game penalty. If it reaches the third offence, by the decision of the Grand Slam supervisor and the referee, they can decide to default the player, a decision which cannot be appealed, and this means that the player forfeits all ranking points, prize money, and accumulates all the fines together that they would have built up to that point. So yeah, as you might imagine, these points and fines can build up pretty quickly, particularly if things get very heated out on the court. So heated in fact that they even consider other breaches which aren't even swearing, so just for example being overly aggressive. If you cock up a shot, swear like a sailor and then smash your racket on the ground, that might be multiple offences in one fell swoop. Like I said, they take this thing pretty seriously. In circumstances that are flagrant and particularly injurious to the success of a tournament, or are singularly egregious, a single violation of this section shall also constitute the major offence of aggravated behaviour, and shall be subject to the additional penalties hereinafter set forth. For the purposes of this rule, audible obscenity is defined as the use of words commonly known and understood to be profane and uttered clearly and loudly enough to be heard by the chair umpire, spectators, line umpires, or ball persons. So yeah, that's it. If you basically say something and somebody hears it, you could literally go, point penalty. And that's it. You've got to be pretty careful out there. This might seem pretty aggressive and also very restrictive on the players, but I think actually I'll give them some credit, because the way they've structured it means that if you occasionally have a little bit of a dull moment, shall we say, and you say something that perhaps you didn't mean to say, then yes, you might get a warning or perhaps a fine. That's fair enough. When it comes down to the third offence and subsequent offences, particularly if you're a repeat offender, that's what they're trying to really clamp down on. They want to make it as difficult as possible for you, so if you're the kind of player that brings the sport of tennis into disrepute, they're going to make you pay for it. The New York Times collated a list of all the offences made between 1998 and 2018 in all four major Grand Slam tournaments: the US Open, the Australian Open, the French Open, and of course, Wimbledon itself. Between these years, 344 instances of men being penalised and 140 for women. Marcelo Rios in the 2005 Los Angeles Open swore at the umpire directly and received a $5,000 fine. In 2007, during the French Open, Stefan Kobuk launched a tirade of abuse at a tournament supervisor when they disputed a call, causing them to be disqualified. Italian player Fabio Fagini was fined originally $27,500 for damaging the court, but was fined a further $7,500 for abuse of a tournament official, giving what they call an obscene gesture. So yeah, at this point it doesn't even have to be language. If you just flip the bird at someone, then that gives you reason enough to be fined $7,500. Italian player Fabio Fagini, again, was suspended from the US Open in 2007 after calling the umpire, quote, a whore in Italian, and under two separate offences had a fine that totaled $24,000. So yeah, you'd think that this guy would learn by now, but no. Italian player Fabio Fagini was defaulted from the American Open in 2021 for verbally abusing a line judge, although this article didn't specify exactly what he said. But given what he'd told the last umpire, you can only assume. Fabio was also fined in 2019 for $3,000, not saying a swear word, but saying that he'd wished, quote, that a bomb would explode at the club. Look, I know the game could probably be quite stressful at times, but come on, man. Yes, the list truly goes on, and while I focused many of which on the swearing, there's a whole bunch of other offences that people can fall foul of, such as using the racket as an imitation rifle, storming off the field of play, sexual advances, throwing coins at the umpire, trying to urinate on the court, making remarks about Serena Williams' unborn child, match fixing, spitting on spectators, vomiting on the court, telling the opponent to stick their racket up their own arse, attacking the umpire, kicking the advertising boards, hitting a ball boy, and throwing your racket at the linesman. All of which are offences that have occurred between the years 1998 and 2021. I should really watch tennis some more. So yeah, whilst most of us don't need to learn every single swear word in every single language, they apparently think it's an important thing, and I mean, if it was me personally, I'd just let him go for it, but you know, we have to be classy here, we have to be professional here. This is tennis we're talking about, people. If you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to be notified as soon as I upload my next video, be sure to hit the bell button. And if you've got any ideas for what topics you'd like me to discuss next, let me know down in the comments below. As always, sources used in the video will be in the description. So, I've just had to think about this. How about you use a word that sounds very close to the F-bomb, but isn't a swear word? and just adopt that in your day-to-day language. So you can pretty much almost say the F-bomb, but technically not breach the rules. I'm just saying, that might be a way around it, folks, but who am I to tell? I'll see you guys in the next video. Fantastic.